On this episode of What Did My Girls Break Today, we're going to be looking at a backed up bathroom sink. I've got 5 girls in this house, and this is something that happens a lot. And so I'm going to show you how to get the we call them sink yetis out of the drain. And I'll show you how we do that here at the house, and the proper way to just make sure you get it all. All right, so let's get into it. So this is the sink that's giving us the problems. I'll just start running some water and show you what it's doing first. It starts backing up, and then it's just real slow to drain. So I'll show you where we start with that. So a couple things I wanted to show you before we get started was a lot of times when your drains back up, the first thing you go to is drain them. And a lot of plumbers tell you not to use this. If you're on a septic system, you really don't want to use it because you're introducing all these chemicals into your septic tank, and it starts to kill off the bacteria in your septic tank, which is what breaks down the sludge in your septic tank. And then now you've got sludge buildup in your septic tank, and now you went from a fairly inexpensive problem to a pretty expensive problem with your septic tank. So most plumbers recommend that you don't use Drano. Okay. Generally, when we have a sink backed up, the first thing we go to here at the house is the drain snake. And all this does is you just kind of snake it down the drain, and you kind of get the hair out. You just kind of pull it up, and it just comes up with just a massive sink yeti all over it. But today I want to show you the proper way to make sure you got everything out of the drain. So we'll go ahead and get under the sink now, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, we're under the sink, and we're looking at the P-trap here. P-trap is designed to hold water in it out here. And what that water does is it blocks the gas from coming back in from your septic tank through the plumbing. The water blocks it and keeps it from going back up to the sink and creating a septic smell in your house. So if you ever smell a septic smell coming out of your sink, then something's wrong with your P-trap. Your plumbing's not right. But the plumbing here is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 nuts off here, and we're going to put a little Tupperware bowl underneath here. Let's see if we can just see if it's about hand tight. Not on there too bad. Okay, so when you take this off, there's water in here, and the water's gonna, you have a little spillage, so you want to have a towel ready, but you just unscrew those. There's your water. And after you see this, you're not going to want to use this Tupperware bowl again. All right. This P-trap actually doesn't look that bad. So we'll just, doesn't look that bad. We'll set it right here. But what these are, is you get these little nuts right here, and then you get this little plastic washer. So when you put this back on, you can make this washer, make sure it just kind of sits in there. So you shouldn't have to move those washers. It kind of tells you where to put it back. Same thing on this one. This one actually doesn't have a washer. It's just, the pipe is fitted that way. Something else I do now, just move your little bowl over. Disconnect it from here also. And you kind of see a little bit of the sludge there. There's a little stuff backed up in there. And that's what that looks like. Delicious. All right, so we'll clean all that out here in a minute. But for now, I'm going to show you how to take the stopper out. Sometimes and most often in this house, this is where the drain gets clogged right here, where the stopper is. This little lever here, when you're looking at the sink, you pull the little knob and it makes the stopper go up and down. So we're gonna take this off to get the stopper out. Helps if you go the right way. All right, now you just twist that off. You kind of see some of the evidence of a hair yeti there. All right, and then we'll go back to the top of the sink. We'll take the stopper out. So after you take the pop-up stopper lever off from underneath the sink, you're able to just take it out, and you see right there that hole is, that's where the lever goes into the back of the stopper and helps it go up and down. And you see a little evidence of a sink yeti on here. And I think when you look down in here, you'll see the culprit, the ever-elusive sink yeti. Yuck. So normally right here, you have a couple different options. This is where I'll usually use the auger and just push it down. If you don't have an auger, this just be a good place to use your drain snake. And you just kind of push that down. Kind of see what comes out there. All kinds of good stuff. All right, we got most of the drain cleaned with the snake drain, but if you have an auger, there's something that just gets it extra clean. So just take a paper towel, wad it up, just kind of stick it down in there. You don't want to use too much. You just kind of stick it down the drain. Then you take your auger, loosen the end here so that comes out. And then you just take this and you just kind of push that paper towel down. And it just kind of cleans the drain just a little bit better and drops it in that Tupperware bowl. Just a note, it's my daughter's Tupperware bowl that she uses for lunch, so don't tell her. What happens in the bathroom stays in the bathroom. All right, so after I've cleaned the drain from the sink down to here, then I take the auger and start feeding it down here, just to make sure no other blockages. And once you get everything good and cleaned out, ready to put it back together. One other thing I like to do is sometimes your P-trap is really dirty. This one's not that bad, as you can see, but it's something I do when it is bad. Is I just take the same thing. I'll take a paper towel, and take that auger again, and just kind of push that paper towel out, and you kind of see the nasty and push it out, and it kind of cleans it a little bit better. And then you're just gonna put everything back together in reverse order. Clean this pipe out. All right, then we're just gonna put everything, after you wipe everything down and clean it out good, put everything back together in reverse order. You get the little washer that just kind of goes into place. You know where it goes because you left it, when you took it off, you just left it there. So that way you know it's gonna fit back like it was before. Just kind of tighten this up loosely for now while we fit all the other parts. You want to make sure that you don't cross thread these. Actually, I did that backwards. Let's put this one on first. Same thing here. You got that washer right there from where it was before. So all you gotta do is fit it up against it. And then just tighten this. Again, loosely tighten it for now until we get everything fit back together. All right. And once you get them on there and they fit, just kind of hand tighten them. If you can't quite get them tight enough, you can use some channel locks. Another thing to be very careful of, I didn't do it in this video, but if it's your first time working down here, and you probably should do it every time, to be honest, you might want to turn the water supply off, because in this house, I actually had this happen to me one time, and it was horrible. I was just turning one of these valves off, and this house is probably about 20, 30 years old, and the PVC pipes, or CPVC pipes, get really brittle. And anyway, I just tightened too much, broke the line, water everywhere. Bad day, bad day. But when you're in here working, especially if you don't know what you're doing, you might turn that off, because you never know, you might bump something, hit something, and you don't want to just water everywhere. But so now, everything good and tight, double check. And then we gotta put the stopper, connect that again, just in reverse order, and then we'll run water and check for leaks. Okay, now we're gonna put the pop-up stopper back in. Just a couple things here. If when you put this in and your sink still leaks when the stopper's down, this would be a good place to adjust it. You just take this nut here and move it a little bit, and you just screw this up or down. Actually, this should be up here anyway. This is just a stop nut. And that keeps it in place. But you can put this stopper back in the drain hole here, and you'll make sure that the hole is facing this direction. You don't want it sideways, you want it like that, so when we put the lever back in, the lever is going to go through that hole right there. And like I said, that's what makes the stopper pop up and down. So just put it down in there, make sure it's facing the right way, and then we'll go underneath and connect it. All right, we're just going to take this, put it up. All right. And tighten that. Before you hand tighten all the way, just make sure you got the stopper in there, and you can lift up on it, and it lifts the stopper up and down. If it doesn't, that means that this bar right here, inside here, did not connect in that little hole. If it's in that hole, the stopper will go up and down. And if it's not, then that means you just don't have it connected right. Just take it back out and just kind of feel it, and when you get it, you'll know. Last thing you want to do is turn the water on, open the drain, make sure it drains, and make sure you don't have any leaks. Nothing appears to be leaking. You also want to make sure that you check your stopper, make sure it's not leaking there. But everything looks good. You got the water faucet going on full, and you see how much better it's draining now. It's not holding any water at all. One last thing, I just wanted to go ahead and show you. We've been talking about a drain Yeti, and this is what the drain Yeti looks like. And we have to do this on a regular basis. Now this sink, honestly, I didn't have to take all the steps we did for this. We could have just used a hub snake or the drain snake, and it would have worked just fine. I think it wasn't that clogged up, but that's how you do it. All right, hopefully this video helped you out and get your drain going again. If you like this, hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you have any comments, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back with you. And y'all have a great day. Enjoy.